Hi guys, hope you're well. We're gonna make roast beef. People love it and I love it. It's a wonderful treat. I'm gonna show you how to prepare this, do the trivet, we're gonna cook it, we're gonna rest it, and we're gonna carve it, and it's gonna be absolutely amazing. I've got 3 cuts of beef here that are very, very common. I've got the top side of beef, that's the most affordable and it's leaner. We've got the sirloin of beef here. Now you know the sirloin steak, but this is a chunk to roast. It's easy to carve, quicker to cook, and it's always tender. And then roast 4 rib of beef. It'll easily serve 10 people, and the leftovers of all of this is amazing. So the preparation is the same for all 3 cuts. Top side of beef I'm gonna do. And what's really important is get your meat out of the fridge 1 hour before you wanna cook it. And that way it will stay juicier and more tender. Give it a little drizzle with some olive oil. Give it a nice little rub up. And then I wanna season it quite generously with salt and pepper. Rub it over and just roll the meat all over the seasoning. Put a little oil into a tray. Let's get that on a high heat. And first of all, I just wanna get some color on this beef and start to sear it. Now what you'll notice is the top side is very lean. But if we look at the sirloin and the forerib, I wouldn't have to add oil to that. I would score the fat like this, and I will place it fat side down in a pan and render the beef fat. Once you feel you've got a little bit of color, get some tongs and turn it over. Now while this is browning off, I want to make a trivet. Just clank up some celery, about half a celery, 1 onion, a whole bulb of garlic, and then 2 carrots, just cut into big chunks. And then herb-wise, I love using a few bay leaves and some rosemary. All of this goes in. Now this trivet is going to do 2 things. First of all, it soaks up all the juices from the beef and it creates the basis for the most incredible gravy or jus to go with your roast beef. Secondly, you can see you put the beef on top, so that way it's not frying on the bottom of the tray. This top side of beef is going to go straight into the oven at 180 degrees Celsius, which is 350 Fahrenheit, for 1 hour and a quarter. So for all the cooking times for the beef or any other cut of meat, then just click over to jamieoliver.com and I've got a whole load of stuff that will support you get it absolutely right every single time. So look at that, really beautiful. Let it rest for half an hour. If it's an even bigger cut of meat, let it go 40 minutes, 45 minutes. When you're roasting meats or even grilling meats, you know, that heat is pushing the moisture into the middle, right? So you need to let it rest just so the moisture comes back, right? So it's juicier and more tender. And it just lets it get to a better temperature. Have a look in this tray. All of this love is going to be the basis of your gravy. Put it onto a high heat, add some flour. A heaped tablespoon will go in, so we get a nice thick gravy. Then just squeeze all the beautiful garlic out of the skins. I can mush up the onions. I'm going to use a little red wine, just a little half glass. Goes in, roast beef, red wine. It makes sense, right? The smell is absolutely amazing. The little secret ingredient that I love is just some beautiful jam. That little sweetness really helps the gravy sing really, really nicely. About 1 litre of stock goes in. Bring this to the boil and then simmer this for about half an hour, the same time you rest the meat, and it's gonna be delicious. In the half an hour that it's taken for the beef to rest, lots of beautiful things happen. If you see in our little platter here, you get juices that come out. You put those juices into your gravy. Pour that gravy through a coarse sieve. You look how gorgeous and thick and wonderful that gravy is. One little tip on the gravy, if you just pull it to the side of the gas hob, as it boils, it will push any kind of fatty bits or any scummy bits to one side, and you can get rid of that. And we've got lovely boiling gravy. Then let's talk about the meat. Now when it comes to the carving, you know, with a sirloin or a forerib, it's very, very tender. You know, with a top side, it will be tender, but it is a little bit leaner, so we want to go nice and fine. You need to invest in a nice, long carving knife. So get the carving knife and do nice, long strokes. Go as thin as you can. So you can see this beef is nice, juicy, and blushing. If you cook it 15 minutes less, you can go medium rare. This is medium. Look at that. What a joy. Absolutely beautiful. And of course, no roast is finished without roast potatoes and Yorkshire puddings. This is the kind of food that just makes you so happy. I've got some horseradish sauce, which is one of my favorites. Beautiful. And then hot gravy, gorgeous, dark, rich gravy. So good. It's not right unless you fill up the Yorkshire pudding with gravy. Come on. So look at that, guys. the most incredible roast beef with all the trimmings. If you want the recipes for the Yorkshire puddings, the perfect roast potato, the horseradish, then go to jamieolive.com where the recipes are and thousands more. There you go, guys. Fill your boots and get cooking. Hi guys, Jamie here. I'm going to show you how to make the perfect roast leg of lamb. Let me talk about preparing, roasting, resting and carving. I want you to prepare it so it's going to guarantee juiciness and flavour and celebration. But look, this is a leg of lamb. It's a beautiful thing. This is a 2.4 kilo leg of lamb. There's many ways that you can flavour this to your own preference. Let me give you an old school, reliable kind of preference that I love. It's using garlic, rosemary, which is so classic with many, many meats, and then divisive anchovy. A lot of people say they don't like anchovy because you might have rubbish ones on a pizza and it's like, ugh, right? But anchovies, you know, a little bit will dissolve. You will not taste anchovy. It's a seasoning. How do we get this into that? Okay, and the way we're simply going to do that is by taking a small knife and just stabbing it evenly down to the bone and then sticking your finger in, okay? So we'll do that evenly, about sort of 2.5 inches apart. A little olive oil, just a little bit, just to get the fat story going. We'll hit it up with salt and pepper and we'll rub that all over the lamb. So that's basic seasoning happening, right? Then garlic. You want it to be elegant and delicate. Pull off the rosemary and then the divisive anchovy. Just run the knife down the length and then in half. Grab yourself a little bit of garlic and the rosemary and the anchovy. And we stick it in there like that. It's gonna be a beautiful thing. Just get it in there. That can go in our tray, right? And we're gonna do a trivet. The trivet is to catch the juices from the roasting joint of meat and give you the potential to make the best gravy ever. What you're gonna do is have 1 or 2 chunky bits of carrot. Get that in there, a couple of little stalks of celery, clanks of that just going in like that. Couple of onions. You can put a bit of extra herb in there if you want. So a little kind of, you know, let's call it a glass of water goes in, and this will catch the juices from the lamb. Now let's talk about how we roast the lamb. First of all, if you're gonna roast that, do not take it from the fridge to the oven. You know, it's gonna stress. It's gonna make it tough, right? Take this out of the fridge at least 1 or 2 hours before. This looks amazing, but what I wanna do is give you a tip that I always use for my normal standard home oven. I've got it preheated to 220 degrees Celsius, which is nice and hot, and I'm gonna do 2 things that I think change the game. First up, I'm gonna put this beautiful leg of lamb directly onto the bars of the oven, right at the top, okay? Then, this tray goes underneath. So what's gonna happen is you're gonna get 360 degree roasting around that lamb. As the fat melts here, it's gonna go all the way down underneath, then drip into the tray. So I think you're gonna get a much better cook, right? It's gonna be a better roast. Secondly, as soon as that oven is closed, I'm gonna turn the temperature down to 180 degrees Celsius. So it gets that immediate heat, and then it just nice, consistent 180 degrees Celsius, which is 350 Fahrenheit, and you'll roast that lamb beautifully. So here in front of us, we've got 3 legs of lamb. Now this has had 1 hour and 10 minutes, okay? And it had an internal temperature of about 63 degrees Celsius. That's gonna give you roughly medium rare, you know, a little bit more pink. Here is what I would call medium or blushing, okay? So that's a nice way to cook it because, you know, if some people want it more well done, you can take it from the 2 ends. In the inside here, it's just nice and blushing and gorgeous and juicy. And then over here, we've got well done. So that's 2 hours, 10 minutes, internal temperature 83 degrees Celsius. There's a lot of cultures that really embrace this. And actually, different things happen, right, when you cook it like this. So let's get in there. You want a nice carving knife, so a longer knife that's sharp, so long kind of carving movements through the lamb like that. The outside cut here will always be a little bit more well cooked. Pretty quickly you can see it getting blushing, and we've got colour going in there. By the way, guys, I haven't told you, we've got to let these legs of lamb rest for at least half an hour. Why? Because it allows the heat to carry on penetrating the leg of lamb. So when you take this out of the oven, in the middle, the heat will be going up. Then the middle one, it's only had 10 more minutes, and that will just take some of that blush away. This, you know, it's really nice to cook it this long. You get different, deeper flavors. You get more gnarliness from the skin and the fat. What's interesting is it's a completely different product, right? So it is cooked through, but it's still actually juicy. I love all of these. And I'll find myself in summer with the kind of pink cooked lamb, you know, asparagus, peas, spinach. And then this, I love doing this when there's kind of more fennel seeds, coriander seeds, thyme, garlic, you know, little spice rubs getting in there. So there you go, guys. That's how to prep, flavor, and roast a beautiful leg of lamb. It's extraordinary. If you want loads of ideas for that and the gravy, head over to jamieoliver.com. I think you're gonna love it. Check it out. Everyone knows how to roast a chicken, but I've got a method that takes it up 3 notches. Are you interested? Let's do this, royal style. Let's talk about the shopping. Chicken. This is a 100-day-old chicken. You'll easily serve 6 to 8 people beautifully. Slightly smaller. This is a label on glaze. It's been corn-fed a little bit. You can see the color. We've got a little poussin here, right? Corn-fed again. And then here, we've got an organic chicken, delicious. So the one I'm gonna do is a nice little label on glaze. First up, finely chop some herbs. I've got some marjoram here, parsley, basil, season with salt and pepper. Add a nice couple of lugs of olive oil. Mix it up. The oil will help bring out all the natural flavors and oils from the herbs. And then we're gonna get our chicken. If you can get a dry plucked chicken, the skin is so crispy and it's delicious. What I wanna do is just run my knife around the top of the legs and score that skin like that, and then just pop that little ball joint. Take the end of the chicken leg off, and when it cooks and roasts, it just looks beautiful. Put the chicken on its side, and I want this thigh meat to cook at the same rate and speed as the breast meat. So I'm simply just gonna do 3 confident slices down to the bone. And it also allows your flavored oil to get in there. With the breast, right, I want you to be very, very careful. Here is the end of the skin. I want you to pull it towards you so you don't tear it. And just get your finger in between the skin and the breast. Make a little pouch, and then I'll use a little spatula to get right down there. Divide these herbs by half. And again, I don't want to tear that chicken skin. Wonderful, look at that. Just get 2 slices of butter, and I'll ram these down the chicken breast. So that's gonna make your chicken breast juicier than ever. It's gonna make that skin crispier than ever. There's one other trick that I've got. Lemon. Now, if I put a cold lemon in there, the hot air is not gonna get in, and it's not gonna be kind of cooking as even as I'd like it. So we've got a hot lemon that I'm gonna just stab, and this is basically a boiling hot citrus time bomb. Now, we are gonna tie this bird up. Take a little bit of our butcher's string, get it in half, put it just under the legs like this, take it up to these little notches here, and I'm gonna do a little knot. Tighten it up, go in between the breast and the legs, turn it over, you do another little knot, and it's just gonna keep it in shape, and it means you get a nice, neat, even cook. With all the kind of remnants of the oil and the herbs, you rub that all over the chicken, and it's really a spectacular thing. Into a tray we go, a whole bulb of garlic, 2 onions, cut those in half. I'm gonna cook it at 225 degrees Celsius for 1 hour. It's gonna be spectacular. Look at that. You know it makes sense. God, so good. The string holds it all together, but you know that chicken's done when you can pull the meat off the bone and when the juices run nice and brown. And if you look in here, you can just take the skins off these bits of onion. You're gonna have the best gravy. I'll put this heat on, add just a heaped tablespoon of flour, just mush it all up. You don't even need stock. Just top it up with some water, bring that to the boil. This, of course, is the time where you let the chicken rest, you finish your gravy, and that's when you bring your salads or your greens or your potatoes all together. So let's sieve out all of those chunks. Mega flavor. Take a little ladle and push it through. Look at that. Bring it back up to the boil, and you're gonna have an amazing gravy. Let's look at our lovely chicken. See how crispy that skin is, how the herbs are trapped. Really, really nice. Let's have a little carve up. First up, run the knife around the back of the leg and just click it, and it will just fall apart. Cut it across like that, giving you that beautiful drumstick and that wonderful thigh meat. If there's any little juices that come out, don't be afraid just to pour those back into your gravy, because it's all flavor, juices galore. When it comes, of course, to the breast, let's just take a nice little chunk here. You can see the herbs underneath. You can see the gorgeous, crispy golden skin. You can see that the breast meat is juicy, juicy, juicy. That's what it's about, guys. The smell at this point from the lemon is phenomenal. It's fragranced the whole of this amazing chicken. This lovely gravy over the top of the chicken like this. Wonderful. What up, food tubers? I hope you're well. Today is a great day because we are making a nut roast. And for me, the nut roast is about a beautiful dinner, a beautiful meal, textures, contrast, sweetness, savouriness. It's a wonderful opportunity to love your veg. We're using some interesting things like quinoa, nuts, chestnuts, spices, dried fruit, and I'm gonna put it together with a sauce and some melted cheese and lovely herbs. You're gonna love it. Okay, so first job, preheat your oven to 180 degrees Celsius, 350 Fahrenheit. Next, let's chop up the squash. I wanna just dice up the squash into roughly 1 centimetre chunks. I'm going to add a couple of tablespoons of oil. Let's get the squash straight in. We're not going to completely cook stuff in the pan. We're just going to take the rawness out and start sharing some flavours. I'm using vac pack chestnuts here. You can get them in all the supermarkets. And if you put them in whole and bring them back to life by roasting them with things like rosemary, okay, they're absolutely delicious. I want 1 onion. Let's just finely chop that. 2 cloves of garlic. Celery. We definitely want to start the process of seasoning with sea salt and pepper. About half a teaspoon of cayenne, a little pinch of smoked paprika. I want 1 level teaspoon of dried oregano. So I'm just going to quite crudely cut up a lovely couple of field mushrooms. About 40 grams of butter. Just a little bit of lemon zest. Gives a really nice contrast. Our veg here is off the heat now. Over here, we've got 100 grams of mixed nuts, Brazils, walnuts, hazelnuts, cashew nuts. Next job, I need to bash my nuts, which is a lovely opportunity for you to get all the frustration in your life out, but with good reason and purpose. Ah, nice. Bashed up nuts. I'm going to put this into the bowl. Next, in with the quinoa and the dry fruit, 4 lovely, large, free-range eggs. Obviously, the eggs are going to really help to bind the dish. We're going to go straight in like that, all the juices, and we'll mix it up. I've rubbed this dish with butter, and I've just lined it with some greaseproof paper, just to make it doubly safe that it just pops out nice and easy. So I'm just going to pour this in with the nut roast. Like this. Squeeze as much as you can into there. So now I'm gonna whack this in the oven for 45 to 50 minutes. I'm gonna cook that until it goes golden and crisp and gorgeous. Then next, I'm gonna show you how to make a brilliant sauce that I'm gonna sit that on. So it's kind of cooking into each other with some melted cheese, herbs, and this sauce is called salsa rosa picante. It's gorgeous. So I'm gonna put a little olive oil into the tray. I'm gonna get 2 chilies. I'm gonna prick it. If you don't prick it, they'll explode in your face. And I just wanna put the chilies in whole. I'm also gonna go in with a stick of cinnamon, some garlic, just 2 cloves. I'm just gonna get a small onion here, cut it into quarters and then into 1/8. I'm gonna go for this next part of the recipe with some thyme and just take the lovely little leaves off the stalk. I'm gonna put this on top of the nut roast. Just move that thyme around so it's coated in the fat, and then it's gonna crispen up and go gorgeous. I'm gonna put it to one side, out of the heat. Go in with my tomatoes. What we can also do is add just a little bit of balsamic vinegar, 1 tablespoon. And I'll turn the heat down to really low. Simmer it for 10, 15, 20 minutes to really develop the flavors. And then I'll show you what to do with the nut roast next. It's gonna be gorgeous. Look at that. Tip it onto its side, like so. We can take that greaseproof paper off, place this in to this amazing sauce. And I'm just gonna grate some nice bits of cheddar, and that's gonna give it amazing flavor. It'll obviously melt and go gorgeous. We can then put our chili on the top, put the cinnamon on the top as well. I've got those thyme tips, remember? Put that over the whole tray. Pop it back in the oven now for about 10 minutes. Okay, so let's have a little look at that. I've purposefully and let the grated cheese go over the edges and let the tomato sauce cook up the sides. I'm gonna get myself a nice plate, some mashed potato. Let's get some lovely seasonal kale. Look at that. Gorgeous. Proper comfort food. Get that lovely thick sauce and just put it over one side of the nut loaf, over the kale, with a little new seasoned olive oil is an absolute dream. There you go. It is delicious. I'm gonna try it. Of course, you've got the crispy bits here, the soft bits there, all those lovely veggies. Let's get right in there with the salsa rosa picante. Hi guys, hope you're well. So I am gonna hold your hand through preparing, making and roasting the most amazing Christmas roast ham with black pepper and marmalade, which is a classic. It's delicious. So what we have here is a 4.5 kilo chunk of gammon. This has already been salted, but it's not cooked. So what we do is we put it in a massive pot, let it sit in that water for maybe an hour or two, get rid of that water. That's not cooked, right? So we need to poach that. Put it on a heat with some root vegetables, carrots, celery, you can put garlic in there if you want, a little bouquet garni or a mixture of herbs. I've got some orange zest in mine, peppercorns, and we'll slowly poach that for an hour and a half. Now I've done that. So what we have here now is the skin attached to the fat. So I'll remove the string like that, and then I need to just pull them out like this. Now what we're going to try and do is keep as much of the fat on this as possible. We're now just going to take a little pride in removing the skin, but also evening out the fat. So it's basically about that much all the way around. So we've trimmed that skin off. Now I want to use the knife to lightly score the fat. And what that's going to do is two things. It's going to give you this kind of texture that allows the oven to render the fat quicker and go crispier. And once you've gone across the whole ham, then simply turn it across the other way and we'll go in a crisscross. It's really easy, it's really fun. Don't spend hours and hours doing this. You've got way too much to do at this time of year. So now I'm gonna put this in the oven for about 20 minutes just to get the fat going and sizzling, right? So the oven is at 170 degrees Celsius, which is 325 Fahrenheit, and then I'll come back and I'll show you what to do next. Okay, lovely people, so it's had 20 minutes, and in that 20 minutes, it's just enough time to get a sizzle on. We're gonna take our little spoon out. You can angle the tray a little bit. So we've already got juices coming out and we can start the basting process. What we've done is just open up this texture to receive flavor. Now, you can see I'm dusting this quite generously with black pepper, and I like that kick. Salt is already in this story, so we don't need to go anywhere near salt. So on the marmalade, just get that on the top, and the heat will just start to naturally melt it anyway. So as time goes on, it gets thicker and thicker until it can't run off anymore. And that is when you achieve perfection. You can see now, can't you, that by creating those little crisscrosses, it's clinging on black pepper and marmalade. An amazing combination with that beautiful ham. Look at that. So this goes in the oven now for an hour. And it's going to go back in at 170 degrees Celsius, 325 Fahrenheit. And that temperature is a good one because it's not too hot, it's not too cool. And over that hour, it's slowly going to caramelize and kind of get tighter and thicker and stick to it more. And keep glazing it until it is a thing of beauty. Right, back in the oven. Okay, so this bad boy's been going for about half an hour. Let's have a look. Come on! Look at that. Let's get basting. You can get some of those juices going with a spoon by all means. What I've done is get a load of rosemary and tie it up and create a rosemary brush. Now you might think I'm mad, but I'm gonna use the rosemary brush to not only impart flavor, but also pick up that lovely marmalade and put it back on the ham. It smells amazing. Oh my Lord. Back in you go. Another 20 minutes to go. So that beautiful ham has had a lot of love, care and attention. It's been poached and it's been roasted and glazed. Here we are. Oh my Lord. Look at that. Guys, look at it. Absolutely stunning. Shining, salty, sweet gorgeousness. So let's get this onto a board. Now, while that is still warm, just put the last remnants of that amazing marmalade on top. As it cools down, it will kind of firm up. I want you to go back to your black pepper. And trust me, a beautiful dusting is gonna make a massive difference. It's gonna be so good. Guys, look at that, come on. That's what we wanted. Juicy, juicy inside, and that gnarly, caramelized, golden outside. And no matter how you serve that, whether it's with a big old buffet, salads, cheeses, breads, or with some mashed potato or fried egg or some bubble and squeak, that, my friends, is one hell of a beautiful Christmas roast ham. Enjoy. Okay, lovely people, how to make the perfect Yorkshire puddings. Let's just talk about the perfect Yorkshire pudding. That beautiful little thing that you can put gravy in. It's great with roast dinners, you know, crispy on the outside, bit chewy down here. Let's do it. First up, big bowl. Whisk, and I need 4 eggs. I'm using beautiful, fresh, free-range eggs, and we're gonna whisk those up. I'm using a big bowl so we can get some nice air in there. Then I'm gonna go in with 200 millilitres of whole milk, 200 grams of plain flour. Now you can sift it. You know, when you sift it, it just makes it nice and light and no lumps. We don't want lumps in there. So just whisk up your batter. As you can see, now it's nicely whipped up. I'm just gonna add a little pinch of salt and nothing else. That's basically it. Now we want it to just coat the back of a spoon. It should just stick nicely to it. That's the batter made. What I do want to do is get it from a bowl, which is perfect for making it, into a jug, because that's perfect for pouring it quickly, because that is another important part that I'll talk about in a minute. We are using a sunflower oil. You can use a groundnut oil or a sunseed oil. Absolutely, these are oils that can handle high heat. We want 1 centimetre in each mould. So I'm going to fill up these 3, and what I like to do is then just gently but evenly pour the oil all the way along, and by the time you hit the bottom, you'll have absolutely perfect, exact measurement across every single one. And I know what you're thinking, I know, I invented it, or at least I think I did. Now we are going to preheat our oven to 190 degrees Celsius. I've got one in there already, okay? It's been in there for about 15 minutes. So, my preheated oil comes out. This is very hot. I'm going to go in with my batter here. I'm going to use a spoon. What you don't want is loads of batter touching the side. If you have batter in between, what's going to happen is that will drag your Yorkshire pudding down and it will stop it rising as efficiently. And what's happening now, you can see the hot oil is starting to cook the batter on the outside. And as we put this in the oven, the heat of the oil is going to push the batter up the side to create that lift. Okay, we're going to go straight back into the oven. And we're going to close the door and we're going to leave it. You want to dedicate the whole oven just to Yorkshire puddings. They're going to cook for about 20 to 25 minutes until golden and crispy and gorgeous. You're going to love it. Ah, come on, baby. Yeah. So for me, guys, this really is the perfect Yorkshire pudding. You can go bigger, you can put more batter in, but then I think it goes too crispy and too dry. I like this kind of size. I like the kind of balance of crispiness around here and the chewiness from inside. Look what you got there, absolutely gorgeous. I want to show you guys something even more incredible to go with Yorkshire puddings that's not the usual thing. So I've got some nice smoked salmon. I'm going to put it down onto a beautiful Bordeaux platter. To complement that, I want a little simple sauce. Now you could use sour cream, yogurt, or creme fraiche. Just beat it up, and I'm going to add just the juice of 1 lemon. Here's a fresh horseradish. So we're going to peel the horseradish, the little grating over the salmon, just like snow. What I like about this is its contrast, fire and lightness. It's beautiful. Just mix it up. Just going to take some of this dill and from a height, just pick it. And then freshly cooked, hot Yorkshire puddings, loading it with that hot sour cream and horseradish sauce, a nice bit of smoked salmon, and then just find a quiet little moment where you and that beautiful combination can just tuck in. Hello, lovely people. Okay, stuffing. Mastering the perfect stuffing. I want to give you principles that you can use to give you consistency, gorgeousness, deliciousness. Breadcrumbs, onions, sage, there's dried fruit, there's nuts. I want you to put your own stamp on your stuffing. First up, the 3 basics that you must have. Onions, bread, herb, okay? This will give you a basic stuffing. And the way you take it to the next level is by using beautiful minced pork shoulder. Really, really nice, good, delicious fat. And then over here, you've got the embellishment. Things like lovely chestnuts, whether they're from the vacuum pack or whether they're roasted over a fire, gorgeous and peeled. We've got like all those lovely Christmassy kind of nuts that you'd get, just toasted up and cracked. They're beautiful in the stuffing, really good. Then dried fruit, just a tiny little surprise of sweetness and sourness. Dried cranberries, apricot, very good. Then a little bit of dried chili, just to give a background kind of hum. Now, I don't want it to be hot. Nutmeg, which is a classic, and a little cinnamon. Let's go in with a little olive oil and a little knob of butter. What we want to do is start to fry off the fragrant things, like the sage. This is going to be enough for this whole dish, plus a nice kind of 500-gram ball that will go up the back of the turkey or in the chicken or in your sort of roast pork. Slice it through the leaves, get rid of these stalks. Go in with about 2 tablespoons of olive oil, butter, a little chili, a pinch of cinnamon, and then nutmeg. Now the reason for this is you're waking up all those spices. Half a nutmeg goes in. We can turn the heat up. So the first thing that's gonna happen, spicy, oily, buttery, fat in there, the sage goes in, and we've got that on a medium heat, just finely chopped, 2 or 3 onions. The onions will go lovely and sweet. So onions into the sage, look, beautiful. Okay, you don't have to make them super sweet or caramelized, just soften them up. So give them a shake every now and again. You know, meat's always been expensive, so the point of the stuffing was to add flavour, make it exciting, have different textures, but also stretch a little meat a long way. We'll lightly season with salt, pepper. So guys, turn this off now, let that cool down. So you can put this in a kind of dish now. Give it 5-10 minutes, let's get it nice and cool. If you look at the 1.5 kilos of pork shoulder, let's put this into a bowl. That's going to be enough to put 1/2 kilo up the back of your turkey or in your chicken, or, you know, rubbed across the pork loin before you roll it up. And then you're going to have 1 kilo to make nice and crispy. You want 2 or 3 big handfuls of bread to kind of stretch the meat a lot further. We've got chestnuts here. So these are vacuum packed chestnuts, guys. You can get these in the supermarkets, but you could use other nuts as well. You can just kind of bust some up in your hand. Leave a couple whole like that. Things like apricots are just gorgeous. And then things like the dried cranberries, totally cool. Not much, just a few. And with the apricots, we'll just run our knife through it, then we'll put it in. So when your onions are fully cooled down, add them to your bowl and mix it up. Scrunch it in your hands. Of course you can use a spoon if you want to, but to be honest, it's much better to get stuck in. If that's just minced pork shoulder, then you will need to season. Good couple of pinches of salt and pepper. When you work it with your hand like this, just makes it bind nicely. So what I like to do now is take about 500 grams of this stuffing, it's about 1/3 of it, and I'll put this into a dish like that. And this I will stuff in the turkey. I'll only stuff it in the neck, that little flap of skin, you can put it underneath. Don't put it in the carcass, because that's going to slow down the cooking. But that will be kind of blonde and juicy. It will flavour the meat will flavour it, and it will flavour the tray that will flavour your gravy. You see where we're going? And then with this nice big old chunk here, add this to the tray here. And then what I love to do is just push it right into the edges. When it cooks, it does shrink a little bit, so you can kind of push the stuffing up the edge. Just gonna wash my hands, just take a few little leaves on the top. You could mix it up, have a blend, bits of chestnut and a few cranberries, you know, because you're kind of storytelling on the top. And I just think it's really exciting. And then a tiny bit of olive oil, just so that sage goes from being dry and horrible and it'll go crispy and gorgeous. Just pat your little sage leaves, look at the color. You can imagine the flavor, can't you? It's gonna be amazing. I have a stuffing that's cooked already. Gnarly, crispy, gorgeous. Have a little try. Oh, so good. Hello, lovely people. Okay, we're gonna make the best gravy in the world. Oh yes, it's gonna be a beautiful thing. Okay, so whether you're cooking beef, roast pork, roast turkey at Christmas, goose, chicken, ducks, game birds, it doesn't matter what you're cooking. I'm gonna give you principles that will serve you and your family really, really well and give you the most extraordinary gravy every single time. Before I started roasting off this beautiful turkey right here, I just had an empty tray, just cut up some onions, leave the skin on, that's fine. Don't bother peeling the carrots, just wash them, hack them up, chunky. The giblets often come with any poultry. Get it in there. It's the key to incredible flavour. I've got some rosemary. That's job done. Now the purpose of that is to lift the bird or the meat off the bottom of the roasting tray and to absorb all the flavours that cook, the sticky goodness that cooks out of it. We need a little jam jar. We need to separate off the fat. So fat always floats to the surface. Look, if I get a little bit of juice in here, you can see the difference, yeah? And this fat will keep in your fridge for months and months and months. You can put herbs in there if you want. It's a blessing in disguise, don't waste that. So once you've got the fat out, just put it on a high heat and bring it to the boil, okay? You wanna just reduce down the juices. When you're roasting lovely cuts of meat, it's good to have a high-sided, snug-fitting tray, okay? If it's just really thin and massive, everything's gonna kind of scald. You can see, because it's a bit snugger and a bit higher, see all the juice we've got? We've got amazing juice and flavour. Now, your tray might look a little drier than this, and that's fine as well, because you'll probably have sticky bits of goodness on the bottom. I've tried to break it down to 3 principal levels to get you from here to incredible gravy. Do we thicken it? Do we want to thicken it? We've got corn flour, which you can use, or just normal plain flour. Your choice, it's all good. But then there's a couple of kickers, guys. We've got jam here. Jam, a little thimble, a couple of teaspoons of jam helps to add incredible sort of silk and sweetness and tang. And the thing to riff off of that sweetness is acid. So see here, acid comes in lots of different forms. Vinegar, Worcestershire sauce, balsamic vinegar, beer. So first up, acid. What are we thinking? Roast turkey, I'm thinking Christmas, maybe roast pork is the best thing to do. You know, 100 mils, just like half a wine glass, not a lot. Use this liquid to scrape all the goodness off the side. We're using alcohol. You cook that away. It's Christmas, it's turkey, couple of teaspoons of quince goes in. So this is exciting, guys. This is really exciting. Certainly in Britain, we love to thicken a gravy. We want a bit more body there, okay? You know, for a turkey, for a tray this size, I'm gonna go in with 3 teaspoons plain flour. I don't want any lumps, just move it and let the flour soak up all that flavour. It smells incredible. That's nice and thick now. I'm adding stock here, guys. You could add water because there's so much flavour from the turkey and the giblets. I'm gonna really almost overfill this tray. And that's why it's really nice to have a nice high-sided roasting tray. Basically, the longer you leave it to reduce and go thick and dark, it will go 10 times more tasty. So I'm gonna let this simmer now for about half an hour, then we'll come and have a look. You can see it's really watery and kind of fairly ugly now. In half an hour, that's gonna be a different story. Beautiful. That is about 20-25 minutes, and you can see it looks dark, rich, it's thickened up beautifully, so now we need to pass it. When you've got the gravy to the texture that you want, just simply pour it in, and that colander is gonna catch all the larger parts. And if you've got lots of sediment around the side, you can put some water in and scratch it away and pour it back on the top there. Give it a little agitation. You can put a bit of pressure in there. If you keep putting more and more pressure on, you're gonna get like a kind of paste of the veggies and the meat come through. That might be a good thing for you or a bad thing, depends what you want. But I'm really happy with this. That's been resting for 2 hours. You're also gonna get resting juices. It's very normal to have a little bit of kind of foam coming to the top. So a little quick way to be able to take that off is just take your pan to the side of the heat source. And if you come and have a look now, what that'll do is it will boil up on one side and push the scum to one side. And just watch me here. I'll just go in and just touch the side, and you're left with the most fantastic, wonderful gravy. This now is ready for you to simmer. You can cool it down, heat it up. Remember, this is going to bring heat to the plate, whether it's veggies, you know, your carved meats and roast potatoes. So there you go, the perfect gravy. The only thing to do now is just have a little try. Beautiful, beautiful gravy that will make people very, very happy. Until next time, take care. Guys, we're gonna cook turkey. Woo! This is one of the biggest meals of the year, guys. Whether it's Thanksgiving or Christmas time, you need a fail-safe recipe that guarantees perfect results and tastes every single time. Really good, honest gorgeousness. So one of the first things you need to do to guarantee the most amazing succulent roasted turkey is actually get the turkey out of the fridge at least 2.5 hours before you want to cook it. I always recommend buying a high welfare free range turkey, which is the one that I'm using here. It's not just more ethical, the flavour is incredible. Before we start prepping the bird for roasting, we've got to think ahead a little bit, and we want a trivet that's going to make the best gravy ever. We've got 3 or 4 little medium-sized onions. These are going to roast under the bird. Go gorgeously sweet. Some celery, some carrots. You want them quite crude and quite big. Put a little rosemary in there, put a few bay leaves in there. And also this is the opportunity to put in your giblets. The turkey neck is like oxtail. The depth of flavour and the collagen and the gorgeousness and oh, it's unbelievable, right? So we're just gonna shake that in. That's our trivet, done. If you wanna know how to make the most amazing gravy, click the link. I'm gonna give you a recipe for basic preparation of a gorgeous bird, okay? You want about half a pack of butter. Most of this will drain off along with the actual natural turkey fat. So just rub it on. There's no sort of polite way to prepare your turkey. So let me just wash my hands. Then we're gonna season generously with lovely sea salt. Some nicely ground black pepper. We've got some nutmeg. It just feels like that little edge of Christmas. Half a nutmeg is all you need. Okay, so now let's talk about stuffing. A lot of people ram a load of stuffing in this cavity here. And what that does, it's not a pretty sight, I admit, but what it does is it stops the natural airflow going into the bird and it kind of messes with your cooking times, okay? We want to stuff it from the neck, actually, with about 600 grams to a kilo, depending on the size of your turkey. And then just tuck the skin back under, like that. And look, you would have never have known I'd been there, okay? If you want to see how to make the stuffing for this, click the link. Place your turkey on the trivet. I did say you don't want to fill it up, but just a little clementine, just a little Christmas clementine. Put 1 or 2 up there, and of course you can grab some rosemary or thyme and get that up there as well. Just give it a little rub, get a little bit of butter on there, shove it in there. It hasn't stopped the air going in, but it will create the opportunity for fragrance and potential and gorgeousness. A thing that I would recommend is a thermometer. Now we're going to push this thermometer into the fattest part of the turkey and just leave it there. It will give you an honest reading about what's happening on the inside of the bird. We want you to be on top of that. Get a little foil. This is going to really help retain juiciness and also protect the skin. And I just expose the thermometer like this. Super, super helpful. My medium-sized turkey here is 7 kilos on the head, calculating the cooking times at 35 minutes per kilo. You work out your times, guys, and get that bird in the oven at 180 degrees Celsius, which is 350 Fahrenheit. Find out more in the description box below. Don't be afraid to go in halfway through the cooking, remove the foil, and get a little spoon of fat and just baste the turkey with all those gorgeous cooking juices. Pop the foil back on, and about half an hour before the end of its cooking time, remove the foil for the skin to crispen up. So here you go, guys, a beautiful, beautiful turkey. This bird has been out for about half an hour. It's cool enough to pick up, right? We're gonna just pour any juices out, put it onto a warm platter, and you can just put a bit of tin foil over this and a tea towel. 2 hours resting is gonna be gorgeous. It's not optional, it's not a luxury, it's essential. So there you go, guys. That is my perfect roast turkey. No tears, guys. Let's get this right. This is the perfect roast potato. And if you think I'm going mad, it's because I'm mad for roast potatoes. Crispy outside and fluffy inside. We're gonna do it 3 ways. Goose fat potatoes, butter, clementine, rosemary, garlic, and extra virgin olive oil. The Maris Piper is an incredible, incredible potato. Fluffy and starchy. The peeling of the potatoes, you don't need to see that. I've got them parboiling in here in salted boiling water. They're kind of that size. Cook them for about 10 minutes. The best roast potatoes I've ever made have come from a time when I almost felt I'd overcook them and create a mashed potato, okay? So you need to tread that line very, very, very carefully. So I can see they're just kind of thinking about breaking up. Pour it into the colander. This steaming part here now is also incredibly, incredibly important. It's starting to get starchy, see it go kind of fluffy and white, and little kind of flecks and flakes of broken bits of potato. These are the things that are gonna give you crispy bits, and we love crispy bits, and a crispy outside, okay? Really, really important. In tray number one, cold pressed extra virgin olive oil. 3 tablespoons, lower in saturated fats, so we love that. We're gonna move on. Butter and olive oil, half as much, and then a nice knob of butter. Butter's gonna give you incredible flavor and a sort of lovely sweetness, but also a strong contender for gorgeousness is goose fat. You can get it in all the supermarkets, 3 or 4 tablespoons in there. You're gonna get a richer flavor. It could be pork fat, it could be beef tallow. I love all of them, but I generally sway for the butter and the olive oil. But at Christmas, I kind of go for the goose fat because it's so good. A little secret ingredient that I do, a tablespoon of red wine vinegar. It will disappear, and what's left is a really subtle kind of tang. It just helps make the perfect roast potato. Then herbs. So let's go to the olive oil here. Get in some lovely rosemary. Put it under a hot tap. If you put it under a hot tap, it just wakes up the natural oils in the rosemary. Okay, so rosemary goes in, and of course, best friends with garlic. Leave the skin on. The skin will protect the garlic, and it will release the garlicness very gently. The whole bulb of garlic. Trust me, guys. Then we're gonna go to the olive oil and butter. Sage is a classic, beautiful, beautiful fragrant herb. That goes in. And then we've got clementine. You could use any citrus fruit, but at Christmas, clementine's particularly good. Just the zest, lovely. That will make a difference. It's gonna be really, really good. Last but not least, goose fat. Just go brave on bay leaves. Dried ones are okay, fresh, amazing. 4, 5, 6, and then go in with some thyme. We're gonna hit these up with some salt and pepper, olive oil, rosemary, garlic, clementine, butter, olive oil and sage, and bay, thyme and goose fat. Delicious. Now back over here. While these little bad boys are steaming hot, right, we need to chuff them up. Scratching and scraping the edge. Chuffing, right? I've made it up, okay? Look what I'm doing, look what I'm doing. Woohoo! You see how I've beaten that up, right? So that's good. So we're gonna go in. While they're hot, just mix up all of these. Absolutely gorgeous. So I'm gonna cook these in an oven at about 180, 190, which is about 350 Fahrenheit, over the period of about 50 minutes, maybe an hour. They're gonna get gorgeous and golden and crispy. But after about 40 minutes, I wanna show you the last little tip to make these incredible. Take the tray out of the oven after 40 minutes, place the potato masher on top, and then just let it pop. And let the lovely starchy inside just puff out, and then create a flatter surface area on the bottom and the top. Just do that around the whole tray, and then pop it back in for another 10 minutes. You can hear the sizzle. Have a little shake up. You can see and you can hear there is crispy perfection in the house. Goose fat potatoes, the butter potatoes with the clementine. The smell in this room is off the chart. And last but not least, the rosemary, garlic, and extra virgin olive oil. Crispy, fluffy, perfect, tangy, little gorgeous roast potatoes. So, obviously roast potatoes are only one part of the meal. If you want to look at the other parts of the meal, the gravy, the meat, different veggie options, then click the link. And we've got loads of wonderful recipes on jamieoliver.com and on FoodTube that celebrate all things that go with roast potatoes. But let's be honest, guys, everything in the world goes with roast potatoes.